Watch your head. Low ceiling.
Dig, do you want to go and verify that for me?
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
I am not a receiver.
Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at several cases of police misconduct, including an incident where officers slammed a handcuffed man's head into a van wall during transport, then ignored his pleas for help and dragged his paralyzed body into jail, leaving him with permanent spinal injuries. Our first case involves an incident where officers neglected the health and safety of a person in their custody, resulting in their untimely death. On June 6, 2018, in Sacramento, California, a local police officer was responding to a request from two California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation parole officers who had detained and handcuffed a man by the name of Brandon Smith, who was taken into custody due to an alleged parole violation for the admitted use of illegal drugs. When the officer arrived on the scene, he found the victim lying face down on the floor of the lobby of a Volunteers of America detoxification center. The following footage showcases what happened next.
All right, sir. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna give you a ride, okay?
Hey,
Hey, I need you to roll over. I don't want you to get hurt, okay? Just sit down on your butt. Here. I'm gonna have you sit on your butt, okay?
all right, listen, listen. Let's go.
Stand up. We're gonna get you some help. Come on. You're gonna have to push with your legs, my man. There you go.
Let's go. Let's go. Excuse me, ma'am.
Excuse us, Billy.
You stupid.
Sorry, y'all. Respect shit. Being a fool.
Hey, stop.
All right. Damn.
All right, come on.
Watch your head. Low ceiling. There you go. That side first, yeah.
All right, we'll follow.
All right. Bob, let me just grab my partner go.
Instead of carefully placing the already injured victim in the back of the steel-plated vehicle, they threw him in there, resulting in Mr. Smith's head hitting the truck. On top of that, the officers prematurely assumed that the victim was fine and closed the vehicle's doors while he was still lying down, not even being given the right to be sat up. Such a careless and reckless act of endangerment no doubt violated one of the law enforcement policies set forth by the United Nations Human Rights Office, which states, "Law enforcement officials shall ensure the full protection of the health of persons in their custody and, in particular, shall take immediate action to secure medical attention whenever required." Nevertheless, the officers transported the victim to the Sacramento County Main Jail.
Okay, give me a second. Hey, man. Call 3. Can you roll me code 3 fire to the jail? See ya. Hang on, we got a medical emergency. We got a medical emergency.
Oh, okay. What's the medical emergency?
I got fire rolling. No, we got fire rolling.
Although the officer may have finally called medical services for the victim, this did not excuse the fact that he failed to administer aid 8 minutes beforehand at the scene of the crime. As a result, he was still liable for violating the previously mentioned human rights policy. At the very least, though, he and a medical responder began trying to wake the unconscious victim up via CPR.
Huh? Nothing. He was just sitting back there. He's kind of kicking his leg, and then I noticed he didn't seem to be moving much. What's his name? I'll take a couple breaths, but where'd my mask go?
You just had to go in.
No, I set it on the floor. Is he on it?
Let's see. Here, I'm gonna turn and see. No.
Oh, thanks. Let me get by you.
Unfortunately for the victim, the officer's CPR techniques wouldn't prove to be of much use. According to Cleveland Clinic, during CPR, one must keep pushing on the person's chest 100 to 120 times per minute, pushing down 2 minutes each time. Furthermore, they say to make sure you allow the victim's chest to come all the way back up between compressions. However, as is seen in the footage, the officer and first responder kept pushing the victim's chest at a rate that was much higher than the standard amount. Not only did this mean that they weren't helping Mr. Smith, but they were possibly making things even worse. A few seconds later, other officers arrived on the scene. Leaving matters into their hands, the transporting officer began conversing with another deputy and explained what transpired.
Okay. Do we get the cuffs off him? Yeah.
cuffs off real quick. How long have you been back here?
He was keeping track of time, but maybe less than 5 minutes.
Okay. Just roll them to get the cuffs off, and then we'll do the cuffs on.
All right. Huh? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we were there handling a 5150 call.
Yeah.
And then they were trying to check him in, and they're like, we're not taking him. And he was like kicking and yelling at him. And so they said, hey, can you help me transport? Because they're in that thing. So I said, yeah, just follow me down there. And then so he was sitting and laying in the back on the floor, kicking, making some commotion. And then as we started to get a couple lights back, I noticed he wasn't kicking as much, but he was laying there and he was kind of rolling, moving around a little bit. So I was like, okay. And then as we got there to this light, I'm like, okay, he doesn't seem to really be moving. Let me check on him. So when he stopped here, I get out and get back, and he was making some really shallow breaths, like slow. And then that's when I start checking him, and then that's when I asked for fire, and then we're gonna just start CPR and stuff, breathing.
So you gotta breathe. See? That's fine.
Information is on a parental abduction from Washington County into Lake Florida. The vehicle is a red 2015 Dodge Ram 800 four-door pickup truck from Washington Lake, Charles 36690 East Boy, Mark Vargas, $2, Maya Vargas, female, 9 years old, last name wearing a gray long sleeve shirt, bleeding. Gonna be K-9 backpack, green stone necklace, and electric female, 11 years old, and unclothed.
I think, yeah, I think they were just gonna book him for F, because originally I think they were just trying to get him to check him into detox. Yeah, we'll try to get you in here in a second, all right?
20171620.
Thanks. Let me get it from her. Oh, his info. Okay.
Okay. They're looking at the X-ray for me because it didn't come up, but his date of birth is.
After backing up his police car to make way for an ambulance to get to the scene, the officer witnessed multiple first responders place the victim on a stretcher and roll him into it.
Huh? A ballpoint pen?
Cycle up at this thanks, man.
Sure.
Adam Yellow, T1.
Wow, that's super low.
Call her and let them
Yeah, 30.
He's already in the
Okay, you know where they're going?
What hospital is going for? What hospital?
2 call 3. Medic 1's transporting to Sutter.
Hey, let's go, Mo.
Accommodate your pen if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's right. I'll get it.
Can you follow me
Yeah.
there until find out if he's stabilized?
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Thanks.
My camera, my participation.
Sadly, despite being transferred to the hospital, the victim was pronounced dead shortly after. Not long after, footage of the incident was forced to be made public after Mr. Smith's family held a news conference with Black Lives Matter at Sacramento City Hall, pleading for transparency in the case. When the victim's mother, Yolanda Ford, was asked to comment on the case, she said when SAC PD came to pick him up, he was already injured and in pain. they didn't do anything to give him any type of medical attention. They're complicit in this. They're complicit in his death. Unfortunately, as of the date of this recording, no further information has been made available regarding this incident. Next up, we direct your attention to a case where officers wrongfully arrested a minor after believing he was responsible for stealing a dirt bike. On January 30th, 2021, in Wake County, North Carolina, Malcolm Ziegler, a black 14-year-old in Fuquay Varina, had been trying to fix and resell a dirt bike he purchased on the Facebook Marketplace, but was surprised when police suddenly arrived at his door. Apparently, the bike he had purchased had been stolen, and the prospective buyers who had come to see it moments earlier were actually its original owners. Obviously, Mr. Ziegler was unaware of this, but officers began interrogating and detaining him regardless.
Okay, what's your name? Malcolm? What's your last name? Malcolm Ziegler?
Yeah.
Okay, you got your ID on you? Okay.
But that wasn't us riding. We haven't rode at all this week.
Where do you stay? You stay here?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't rode at all today. He could have just came by here.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy running down the street?
That's his phone. They say somewhere up there.
Okay. Do me a favor, man. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back for me, okay?
I did.
You're in possession of a stolen motor vehicle.
What?
Diggs, you want to go and verify that for me?
What?
Do me a favor, man. Just come to my car right over here, okay?
What the? Can I get the bill of sale and show you that I bought it?
Yeah. We'll get all that taken care of, man. But what I need to do is just hang tight for me right here, okay?
Gosh, what did I do?
Just hang tight for me right here, okay? So here's what's going on, okay? So that vehicle's been entered as stolen.
What?
Okay.
Which one?
The dirt bike right over there, the Suzuki.
Uh-huh.
So I know you've been trying to sell it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's been reported stolen. It's been entered as stolen. So right now you are in possession of a stolen motor vehicle.
Well, can I show you the bill of sale from where I bought it?
Absolutely. You can definitely show me that.
Right. I mean, I did not steal it. I had to show you.
Where's the bill of sale at?
I think it's in my house.
Okay, so here's what's going to go ahead and happen. Just hang tight for me. Matter of fact, do me a favor, sir. Go ahead and step right here. 57 Fuquay, 2 males, 1095.
So I have to go to the police station?
Yeah, just hang tight.
Rather than walk to Mr. Ziegler's house with him and retrieve the bill of sale, the officer placed the minor in handcuffs. Such an act of dereliction, however, could be seen as a violation of the victim's fourth constitutional right, which states, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized."
Go do this real quick. I gotta search you, okay? Yeah, your phone right there. I'm just gonna go and set it right here, okay, sir?
All right. And then there's keys in this.
Yes, sir. How old are you? Okay. You said 14?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Take it for you.
Not long after, the officer began searching the victim's persons and belongings. However, under the Fourth Amendment, police officers must obtain written permission from a court of law to legally search a person and their property and seize evidence while they are investigating possible criminal activity. Moreover, it's important to note that evidence obtained through illegal searches is not admissible in a court of law. While one may argue that searches are also allowed without a warrant, that's only when one either provides consent, exigent circumstances are present, or if probable cause is viable. For example, if a suspect runs away, a gunshot is heard from another room in a home, or even when an individual makes a sudden movement. Considering that Mr. Ziegler had been completely compliant so far, there was no justification for the officers to search him.
Yep, get a little something in there. All right, sir, do me a favor, separate your feet for me. Go and look at me real quick. Open your mouth up, sir. Tongue up and down. I appreciate it. And then I want you to do that one more time for me.
I mean, yeah, they're in the house. Kid, can you ring the doorbell and tell my dad to get that bill of sale somewhere in the house?
We're about to take care of that, sir. We're going to take care of that. Appreciate it. Wrongful. Sir, can you open your mouth, tongue up and down? Appreciate it. Right, and let me check you real quick right here. I can get the exact date for you. I'll get that for you in a second, okay, sir? And sir, do me 1 second. Squat down slightly, okay? I'm just gonna do this real quick, okay? All right. So what I'm gonna have you do, I'm just gonna have you take a seat right here. Okay, I'm gonna open the back of the. Just take a seat for me right now, sir. We're not leaving, going anywhere yet. I just wanna get you seated. That way you're not standing around out here, okay, on the street. I know you're a little tall, so it might be a little. You okay?
The handcuff.
What's going on?
The handcuff.
All right, step out. I'll fix it for you. What's going on with it?
Right, it's like real.
Oh, I got you. Okay. All right, just hang tight for me. There we go. And sir, let me just do this real quick. That way I don't.
Miss Andrea. Get my dad. He's in the house. Just ring the doorbell.
Man, we're gonna take care of that. We're gonna get his father. Go ahead and take a seat.
It's still. I mean,
Is that?
It's hurting.
Which one is it? Is that your neighbor? Okay. Go and do me a favor, just step out and face away from me that way. That way I can make sure that. There you go. Yeah. I got you. There we go, a little better. All right.
It keeps like clamping down.
There we go, right there.
I did not ever just sit in.
Yeah, you go, you can take a seat. If you want, man, if you want to keep your legs out, I know you're a tall guy, man. If you want to hang your legs out and just sit down, you're fine to do that too.
They keep getting tight. Like this left.
Well, I'm going to work on getting you out of those soon, okay? Just keep cooperating with me. I appreciate it. And we'll get everything squared away.
I don't.
Okay. And sir,
I can try to find the bill of sale.
sir, and I'm not saying that you stole it. Right now, what we've got is we just got a stolen motor vehicle. We're not saying that you stole the vehicle. Okay, I'm not saying that at all, okay? But it still is a crime to be in possession of a stolen motor vehicle. So he's talking with your dad right now.
I can tell you. I can show you if you can go on. You can go on my phone. I can show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
We met at the Lillington Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
If you know what that is.
Okay.
Lillington Presbyterian Church.
Well, your dad's coming over here right now.
It was about 8:30 when we met.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Hey,
Dad, I need that bill of sale.
Reason all this is going down, that vehicle's been entered as stolen into National Crime Information Center. Do you have the bill of sale by any chance, sir?
I don't know what it is. It's either in my room or in the garage.
You gotta tell me where it is, man. I saw you outside. What is the guy's name to show you about?
I think it's like Stone or something. If you go on my phone, you can look at Facebook profile. Go to the counter and see if it's on there.
What counter?
Inside the kitchen, the first one that has all where you put the mail at. If it's not in there, look in the garage, like over by, you know where the stuff with the air compressor is?
So right now, what we're going to need to see is we need to see the bill of sale. Right now, what I'm trying to get taken care of, with you being in possession of that, I mean, it's still technically possession of a stolen motor vehicle. But obviously, if there is a bill of sale and if what you're telling me is true, then we certainly are willing to work with you. And
well, I mean, I'm guessing y'all gonna take this. Take the bike. Am I gonna get my money that's on the bike?
Well, so right now, my man, one step at a time. What I need to do is I need to grab some information from you. So you're stolen first name, sir? It's Malcolm, is that correct?
M-A-L.
Okay.
C-O-L-M.
C-O-L-M, gotcha. And how do you spell your last name, sir?
Z-I-G.
Okay.
L-A-R.
And date of birth? And and then you said you were 14, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. With you being a juvenile, the process is a little bit different as well too. So we're not going to take you to jail or anything like that. I just need to speak with this officer, see what he's got. They're working on getting that bill of sale, and then we'll move forward from there. Okay? All right.
Is there any way you're able to go on my phone so I can show you like where I met up with the dude at and everything?
So, just hang tight for me. Right now, they're checking out the bill of sale. After we get all that squared away, we'll work with you, okay?
There's multiple of them. There's a few different ones. That's what I'm saying. It's either on the counter that has all the mail, or it's gonna be in my room. If it's in my room anywhere, it's gonna be as soon as you walk. Like when you go in my room. It's either gonna be a nightstand, but it should. I'm pretty sure I put that one on the counter where the mail goes.
Sir, do you have any copies of anything? I see you got something right there.
These are the ones he just filled out.
Okay.
Because he was gonna sell it.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Okay.
But we're looking for the one that. Where did we go get the bike?
Maybe Presbyterian like a week ago.
I know where. What was it, like 2 weeks ago?
A week ago on a Wednesday or Thursday.
So that's what I'm asking. Where is that? Didn't the guy?
Did y'all sign one? Yes, she did write one. Look by the. I'm pretty sure it's only counted by where you put the mail at. You look on there. In the bin? No, it would. I don't think it'd be on the bin.
No, it's not the most comfortable right now, but we're gonna get you out of there soon, okay?
Maybe it should. You need the dude's phone number that I bought it from. So I can give you his phone.
Just hold off on that for right now, okay? And we'll move forward with that in a little bit.
A few seconds later, another officer arrived and began conversing with the arresting officer on what to do next.
Hey. Yeah. So if you just go put your legs in for me for a second. You got it? Almost there.
What's that shoe you wear, like a 14?
Alright, just hang tight for me, man, alright? Hey,
He's detained or is he?
he's detained right now because he is...
He's not. He's 14.
Yes.
Okay.
So I already explained to him he's detained right now. I told him that
So why is he detained?
because that's a stolen motor vehicle.
So
I mean, Dave verified the VIN number, right?
did you? Is that before all that you verified before you?
I detained him and then
Okay,
we
that's why I
verified.
asked if he was 1095 or 10.
He's detained.
Okay. So obviously he's a juvenile, right?
Yeah.
You're not charging him with larceny of a.
Nope.
Okay, because obviously that didn't happen.
Yep.
So worst you have is what?
Possession of a stolen motor vehicle.
Which is you gonna think you get secure custody and all that?
Probably
Or
not.
a petition. Alright. 14, me personally, you ain't going nowhere. You're here with what, Dad? Ain't no sense in having him sit in the car with handcuffs on. Where
Okay.
you ain't, if he was 18 and you might be taken to jail for possession of stolen property, different. But you ain't gonna take him to jail, right? It's gonna be a petition.
I'll go ahead and take him out. Question for you. So supposedly, I know they're working on getting the bill of sale right now. I haven't asked him too many questions, but he's been running his mouth. He said that he got it from some guy off in Wilmington. Okay. My whole thing is, I know legally he can still be charged.
Yeah. If he's got a bill of sale, me personally,
Yeah.
I have grown up racing dirt bikes, buying 4-wheelers. I got
Yep.
3 4-wheelers at the house now.
Yeah.
I've never once had one run until I was a cop.
Yep.
Most people don't know when it's stolen or not. Besides, you get a bill of sale and you think it's not stolen because you got a bill of sale and that VIN matches and you're on your way.
Yeah.
Dick caught this guy for it. That's what he buys. He buys bikes that has problems, fixes them, sells them, flips them. That's what he does. Me personally, I would pass all the information on to Harnett County.
Yeah.
If he's got a bill of sale.
You want to go with the petition?
Huh?
If basically what you're saying is if he has a bill of sale, you wouldn't end up filing the petition. Yeah, of course.
Hey, where all do you think that
You
bill
can
of
keep
sale
step
might
out.
be at?
So you can step out. We're going to take the handcuffs off.
Where all do you think that bill of sale might be at?
I mean, it's either got to be in the county prosecutor's. I mean, I have so many. It's not.
Yeah, I know. Your dad came out with quite a few.
So do me a favor. Go and separate your feet for me a little bit. Separate your feet as well too. Lean forward so I can get the key. Okay.
Yeah,
Separate your hands as well too.
So what?
Just separate your hands. There you go. All right, go and take that hand out for me, sir. That one right there. You got it. Now let me go.
I used to put them on the counter in my room.
Hey, we can go in there with him.
I can go in there.
Condition one.
The officers finally uncuffed the victim and began searching for the bill of sale with them, as they should have done beforehand. Thankfully, Mr. Ziegler was later able to provide the bill along with some other information resulting in his release. When news of this reached their ears though, Mr. Ziegler's family said that the incident was traumatic and that race influenced how the situation unfolded. This was because another teenager, Mr. Ziegler's friend, who was present at the scene and is white, was also handcuffed. The difference, however, was that it was only briefly and he was not detained in the car. The victim's mother, Ty Ziegler, thinks the footage was deliberately posted on a Saturday morning because it would receive less attention from the media and community then. Furthermore, she commented on the actions of the officers in an interview held with news anchors. The following clips show the highlights of what she said.
It was clear from the release of the video that it wasn't released in a manner of transparency, but you showed the narrative of the other teenager first, where he was treated with dignity and he was treated with respect, and he was told that he was being detained. At 56 minutes into the video, your officer says 1095 times 2. That means 2 people were being arrested, not detained.
She then went further on to state that the officers reported to their superiors that Mr. Ziegler was detained, yet it was apparent from their actions and their communications that he was being arrested instead.
How can you arrest someone, Fuquay Varina Police Department, before there was ever an investigation? Your officer clearly states that on the video. I heard it was a 1095 before I verified the VIN number. So if that is the case, is that good policing? Is that policy? But when you realized things went wrong, you tried to fix it by saying that he was in the back of the police car because of safety.
After criticizing the officers' actions and questioning what threats to their safety came about from a mere 14-year-old, Mr. Ziegler's father came up to the stand and commented on how officers should undergo more police training to prevent such incidents from occurring later on.
Because clearly, this officer wasn't ready for the situation that he was in. And we as citizens don't sign off on him to come to our houses to protect us. I've spoken to some of the police officers at Fuquay. There's not many black ones. So even with the training, whether they want to call it sensitivity training, racial training, whatever, how are they going to get the knowledge to train the correct way without the proper representation? I can't change what happened to my son, but hopefully we can prevent it happening to another child.
Moving on, this next case showcases officers who used excessive force by unleashing their dog on a civilian, resulting in multiple lifelong injuries. On April 3, 2018, in Raleigh, North Carolina, Kyron Dwayne Hinton was standing in the middle of Raleigh Boulevard as traffic sped by on the multi-lane road. Obviously, the 29-year-old man had drawn the attention of passerbys, who put in a series of calls to emergency dispatchers. The North Carolina Highway Patrol was the first on the scene, and Raleigh police officers followed shortly after. But how they both handled the situation was morbid, to say the least.
334 Raleigh. Be out with a male walking down the middle of the road. Raleigh Boulevard, Yonkers. You all right, man? Be a second. Raleigh, just give me a second. 1018. 334, 10-9, your last one, too. Give me a second, 1018. Raleigh Boulevard, Yonkers Road.
Upon seeing that Mr. Hinton was clearly suffering from mental problems, the officer called for backup.
23, please 10-4 last. On the way, Rob. 10-4. I got RPD out here, good. 334, you guys, Raleigh PD is out with. 10-4 on Raleigh PD, being out with 334 at this time. 334, you signal 5. 10-4, signal 5. 10-4 on signal 5. Signal 5 at 2237. Cabby 894. Newbern and Yonkers. No, we should be good. You can still head this way, but you step down.
The situation remained calm until Wake County Deputy Cameron Broadwell arrived on the scene with his police dog, Loki. It was at this point that the situation began to take a dark turn. Out of nowhere and unprompted, the officer commanded his K-9 to attack the victim, resulting in him dropping to the floor whilst being surrounded by other officers. Not only that, but the dog's handler did not once stop his companion from continuing the attack and even encouraged its actions. According to their department's policy on police dogs, a police dog used to apprehend is best understood as an instrumentality of force, to be judged according to the rules that apply to police use of force. As applied to police dogs, a K-9 apprehension is a justifiable and lawful use of force if the threat to officers or the public is significant. It's important that the need for force must be sufficient to justify the K-9 apprehension. Furthermore, the circumstances of the event confronting the officer determine whether the use of force was lawful or unlawful. Generally, though, the use of the K-9 in an apprehension involves felony suspects. However, since the victim was neither fleeing nor posing a threat, the officer was not allowed to command his K-9 to attack and then go as far as to continue to allow it. It should also be noted that since the officers present did nothing to stop this egregious use of excessive force, they were liable for violating their department's duty to intervene policy, which states, officers have the ethical and legal duty to protect and preserve the constitutional rights of all individuals. If an officer observes a clear violation of an individual's constitutional rights and has the ability to intervene, that officer is required to do so, regardless of the rank or agency of the individual committing the violation. The duty to intervene includes the duty of every officer of this agency to attempt to prevent any other officer from using unwarranted, reckless, or excessive force. Additionally, any officer who witnesses or has knowledge of such force by another officer shall immediately report the incident to a supervisor or the Internal Affairs Unit. Furthermore, one of the officers began repeatedly punching the victim, despite the fact that he was already being bitten by a dog and being suffocated by multiple police officers. As a result, he, along with his peers, were liable for violating their department's use of force policy, which states, force should be used only when all other means of resolving a situation have been exhausted or are clearly inapplicable. Officers should take all reasonable steps to avoid having to use physical force. Force will be used only to the degree reasonably necessary to control the situation. The extent of force in terms of degree and level will vary according to the situation. The officers continued to assault and unlawfully detain the victim for another 5 minutes, until finally he had lost consciousness.
Round 1023. Control 323, 10-4.
As a result of the officer's brutality, Mr. Hinton spent 3 days in the hospital due to receiving 21 dog bites, a broken nose, and a fractured eye socket. After that, law enforcement officers took him to the Wake County Jail. He was initially charged with disorderly conduct, resisting a public officer, and assault on a law enforcement animal. But thankfully, after the incident came to light, state prosecutors dismissed all charges against him. On top of that, after the body cam footage showcasing the horrific events was made public, Officer Broadwell was charged with 3 felonies: assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury, assault inflicting serious bodily injury, and willfully failing to discharge duties. Furthermore, North Carolina troopers Michael G. Blake and Tabitha L. Davis were both charged with assault inflicting bodily injury and willfully failing to discharge duties. Moreover, after being treated for his injuries, Mr. Hinton appeared in an interview where he gave his take on the incident.
I'm definitely excited about the outcome, about the indictments of the officers. I do say thank you to the DA and everyone who helped in the investigation. I am ecstatic about that, but it is the beginning. And we're going to keep pressing forward for absolute justice, which would be a conviction. And again, like I said, I just thank you.
Were you surprised by the indictments?
In one way, yes, because so many people have been done wrong, but not because what happened to me they should have been indicted and convicted.
Next up, we have an incident where officers assaulted and pointed a firearm at a woman for simply switching drivers on the freeway. On August 7, 2020, in Solano County, California, after spending the day in Oakland with her 2 daughters, niece, and Father Joe J.B. Powell at the Malonga Cast Lord Center, Nakia Porter drove home to Orangevale. During the drive back, she was so tired that she exited the freeway in Dixon to let her father drive the remaining distance. As they both exited the vehicle, deputies Lisa McDowell and Dalton McCampbell approached the family. The following footage showcases the events that transpired. Unfortunately, the first few seconds are devoid of any audio. Then, suddenly out of nowhere, another officer appeared and drew a gun at the family.
You know what? Detain her. Detain her. Put your hands on the back of your head.
We're about to switch drivers.
According to the U.S. Department of Justice, law enforcement officers and correctional officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force only when necessary, that is, when the officer has a reasonable belief that the subject of such force poses an imminent danger of death or serious physical injury to the officer or to another person. It should also be noted that 1. Deadly force may not be used solely to prevent the escape of a fleeing suspect. 2. If feasible and if doing so would not increase the danger to the officer or others, a verbal warning to submit to the authority of the officer shall be given prior to the use of deadly force. 3. Officers will be trained in alternative methods and tactics for handling resisting subjects, which must be used when the use of deadly force is not authorized by this policy. When considering the aforementioned factors, it's obvious that the officer wasn't justified in even considering to draw his firearm. Furthermore, by committing such an act, he violated his department's de-escalation policy, which states, officers will be trained in de-escalation tactics and techniques designed to gain voluntary compliance from a subject before using force, and such tactics and techniques should be employed if objectively feasible, and they would not increase the danger to the officer or others. When feasible, reducing the need for force allows officers to secure their own safety, as well as the safety of the public.
King 6 starts the 3rd. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
I am not resisting arrest.
King 6 starts the 3rd.
Bless me. They are approaching me and putting me on the car with force. So those that are listening, I am not arresting.
Yes, you have 2 different plates on your vehicle.
2 different plates, but you're pressing on me. You're not reading.
You're not
rights
listening.
or anything.
You're not listening.
Excuse me. What are you doing? Why are you pulling me away from the car?
You're going to the back of our patrol car.
Excuse me. What are you doing? Bless me.
Put your hands behind your back now. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach now. You're gonna get tased.
How did she get it open?
She slipped it. Double lock.
As was seen in the footage, the officers used an excessive amount of force in detaining the victim through what could only be considered an assault. This is further highlighted when considering that Miss Porter fell unconscious within only seconds of the officers handling her. Consequently, they no doubt violated their department's use of force policy, which states, officers shall use only that amount of force that is objectively reasonable under the totality of the circumstances known to the officer at the time the force is used. Force may appear necessary at the time the force is used, given the facts and circumstances perceived by the officer at the time of the event to accomplish a legitimate law enforcement purpose.
Okay. King 6, we still have a male in the front passenger seat. The x-ray is detained, but we still need cover.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Copy, you have an x-ray detained and a male in the passenger seat.
King 6, stars 11. Thank you. 41 killed 3. The X-ray, I believe she's unconscious. She's out. I know. He needs to get the thing. Unlock your car, I got her.
After the officer attacked Miss Porter, he began dragging her unconscious body across the asphalt road and threw her beside a vehicle. Not only does that mean he caused further injury to the victim, but it also meant that he violated the aforementioned United Nations Human Rights Policy, which states that law enforcers must ensure the health and safety of those in their custody.
How many children are in the back of the car? I know. How many children are in the back? Step back with me.
3.
3 kids? How old are they?
Girls.
Okay, how old are they?
1's 6, 1's 4, 1's 3.
Okay, sounds good. Aaron, is this your car right here?
It's my car.
Okay, can I get the cage?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, is it open?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just three J's in there. All under 6, right, sir?
Yeah, all under, yeah.
Go and have a seat in the back of the car.
Again,
Again, you are not under arrest, you're just being detained. Okay, so just have a seat. 6 Max 97 and 1029. Last of Porter, Paul, Ocean, Robert, Tom, Edward, Yellow. Correction, Robert. First, phonetically, Nora, Adam, King, Ida, Adam. Middle of Victoria, 101487. X-ray out of Orangevale. DL available.
So far, she's the owner of the vehicle, which is clear and correct.
Got it. Hey, gents. So we got into a scuffle with the X-ray. She's detained in the back. Okay. Her ID is right here. X-ray born in 87. She went unconscious during the fight. I think it was because she got struck in the face. She's complaining of facial pain, back pain, and stomach pain, all where she was struck. And then when we went to the ground, again, she did lose.
And 1 King 6, she's 1026. She just wasn't
For 5 seconds.
She went unresponsive. I had full mount on her. She was on her face. She went out. Yeah, no more than 20 seconds. She had normal breathing the entire time. When I rolled her over, picked her up, she was able to move her. She was moving her legs as if she was like going in the car. She came out, instantly popped out of the car as soon as McDowell turned her lights on. There's a front out-of-state plate and then the rear plate. They flipped around. As soon as I put it out, she hopped out of the car, was non-compliant, refused to get back in the car, and then turned towards us. And then as soon as we told her to put her hands on the back of her head, she tried to go like walk away, and then actually started fighting McDowell. And then that's when we went hands on.
As the officer continued to lie about the events that transpired, Miss Porter and her father were placed under arrest. Thankfully, though, they were later released with the charges against them being dropped. Furthermore, around a year after, Sacramento community leaders gathered to support Miss Porter in front of the Robert T. Matsui United States Courthouse, along with her filing a lawsuit against the sheriff's office. As of the date of this recording, though, there is yet to be any information made public regarding that lawsuit. Our final case of the day involves an incident where a group of officers refused to provide aid to a black man after his head and neck were slammed against the inside of a patrol vehicle. On June 19, 2022, in New Haven, Connecticut, 36-year-old Randy Cox was arrested by local officers Betsy Segui and Oscar Diaz for the illegal possession of weapons. How the officers handled his transportation, however, was unprofessional to say the least.
All right, my man, step in there.
All right.
All right, step right in there.
Got it? One leg at a time.
One leg at a
Watch
time.
your head.
Watch your head, all right?
Officer Diaz was driving to the station in a police van when he suddenly slammed on the brakes. As a result, Mr. Cox flew headfirst into the wall of the back of the van since the officers failed to fasten him with a seatbelt. On top of that, it was only some time later that the transporting officer realized that something was amiss with the victim.
I'm stopping. I'm gonna check you out. What happened? What? You fell. What happened? Can you move at all?
I can't move.
What? How your leg is all the way up there?
Understand me, listen, brother.
All right, I can't move you, so I have to hold on. I'm gonna have to go get an ambulance.
Listen, no.
Huh?
Yes, but understand.
Go ahead.
I fall. I cannot move my arms.
All right, do not move. I can see moving your arm.
No.
Okay.
Look at my hand.
All right, hold on.
The officer then called an ambulance for the victim and drove Mr. Cox to the detention center.
171.
171.
Can you start a signal 1? The subject in the van, he said he fell inside the van and he can't move. So I'm on my way to detention right now. So please, could you start me signal 1 over there?
Cox, either we can move you or you can wait till AMR moves you.
Slide down, my man.
No, Jay.
Yo, slide down so you can get out of here.
Look, if you gotta drive me, go start over.
All right.
I like it. I'll let me relax for a bit.
All right, there you go.
Almost there. You're almost there. You gotta get your shoulders out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stand up. There you go. All right.
Get up.
How you making out? Ready? Actually, go over here. Get the. Huh?
You cracking. You just drink too much. No, you drink too much.
Okay.
Sit up.
We ain't gonna keep getting out.
I can't feel shit, bro.
Sit up.
Stop playing around.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, sit up. You're doing extra shit. Sit up.
Upon arriving at the station, however, his cries for help were ignored by officers Ronald Presley, Jocelyn Lavendier, and Louise Rivera, as they removed the victim from the vehicle by dragging him face down across the metal plate. On top of that, they accused him of being drunk and didn't believe that he was injured. Clearly, not only did they violate the previously mentioned policies set forth by the United Nations Human Rights Office, but they also failed to adhere to their department's mission statement, which states, "We, the men and women of this New Haven Police Department, believe in shared responsibility with our community to create a safe and inclusive city, along with providing a safe environment by targeting quality of life issues in our neighborhoods." Nevertheless, instead of taking the victim to a hospital, the officers dragged and processed Mr. Cox into jail.
Sit up. What else did you have? Did you have any drugs and alcohol?
Listen, no.
You're not fine. How much? Okay. How much did you have to drink?
Hold a second.
Oh my God, yo.
A little piss. Huh? A little piss. He's perfectly fine. You want to put these on? Yep. Hold on, Ron. Hold on, Ron.
Alright.
After they placed him on the floor, the officers called and waited for paramedics to arrive. Upon arriving and examining the state of the victim, they immediately rushed Mr. Cox to the hospital. According to his lawyer, Ben Crump, the victim was paralyzed from the chest down, caused by a severe injury to his neck and spine that remains to this day. Unsurprisingly, once the footage was made public, the incident drew mass outrage from civil rights advocates such as the NAACP. Consequently, due to the amount of backlash, the officers responsible were all placed on administrative leave, and the state later dropped all charges against the victim. Furthermore, Mr. Cox's lawyer quickly filed a $100 million lawsuit against the police, claiming a range of offenses such as carelessness, going over the speed limit, recklessness, and not having the appropriate restraints in the transport wagon. The lawsuit also included allegations against specific police officers, such as using excessive force and failing to provide medical attention. Subsequently, the 5 officers faced criminal charges for their actions, with 2 of them getting fired. Sometime later, the city agreed to a $45 million settlement for Mr. Cox's lawsuit. Be sure to check out our previous video where we cover another outrageous police encounter.